it reminds us that we are one, right? That we are in a world that's becoming so tribal and, into each other's, we need reminders that, hey, we are all one and the same. And I'm inviting you to watch CHiNOY TV presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart.
I'm Wilson Lee Flores. I'm in the real estate business. Also, my hobby is writing a column in Philippine Star. I also own a bakery in Quezon City. I have Chinese and I have Filipino culture. That's 100% Filipino, 100% Chinese. So I'm 200% of a person. I'm 200% richer as a person. It's not like, there's no need to balance. I have to continuously learn to be both. Every single culture that enriches us is important. We should always analyze ourselves in order to be better human beings. And our ethnic Chinese minority in the Philippines, non-stop changes. We are experiencing non-stop changes every generation. We should be better. We should always strive to be better. By cherishing our heritage and our values, learning from our ancestors in order to be a benefit to the Philippines. I'm inviting you to watch CHiNOY TV presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart.
The modern CHiNOY.
Where are you from? I said, I'm from the Philippines. But how come you speak Chinese? So there's always that ambiguity. Are you really Filipino or are you Chinese?
I've been asking questions all my life, like, am I Filipino enough or am I Chinese enough?
And then my uncle looks at me, you do TV? Hello, you're too singkit. So, meaning ba pag singkit, hindi ka pwede mag-TV?
At that time, it was at the height of the island dispute, and the CHiNOYs have been at the middle of the crossfire between the Chinese and the Filipinos. So because of that, we decided to address this because at that time, a lot of people are confused in terms of the loyalty of the CHiNOYs here.
Where does your nationalism or your patriotism lie? Does it lie with where your ancestors come from? Or does it lie with where you were born and raised?
So, our manliligals always ask na may Great Wall ba yung pamilya niyo?
Funnily enough, I have never really dated a lot of Chinese girls. They scare me.
I really would like to grow up like a normal child. I really would like to go to the mall, watch a movie. But had it not been for this training of my parents, I would not be where I am today.
We should not lose out our Asian heritage. Yun ang fear ko, yun ang worry ko is it's easy to lose out our Asianness by all these overwhelming Western cultural influences.
I want to be the voice that starts these uncomfortable conversations, and it's high time that they happen because we have to look at who we are to understand where we come from.
No matter how it is run, this is our country. It is our lupang hinirang. We are just in one country, we are in one boat. Do not say why me, just say why not me.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. Hashtag One CHiNOY is brought to you by Doña Maria Premium Quality Rice, our Filipino farmers' hard work and dedication in every grain. BA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific.
I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I realized that I will have to find a way to be an entrepreneur, assuming I would have no capital. But eventually, I realized knowledge capital is the best capital of them all because everything is in your head. And I always talk about innovation because the traditional model is you start with money and then you convert money into more money. And I said, well, not necessarily. You can start with knowledge, not exactly with money. And you can convert your knowledge into money. And that's what I did. I'm Josiah Go. I'm chairman of Mansmith and Fielders, independent director of Union Bank. My parents are, just like many Chinese parents, are quite traditional. I think I'm pretty lucky because I'm a middle child. They are less strict with the middle child, unlike the eldest. So I was allowed to be quite independent. I was required to work at the age of 15 during summer. And then when I went to college, I had to be a working student, except on my final year when I was very active in extracurricular activities. I met my girlfriend in extracurricular activities. And, you know, I am blessed because my father is highly educated and he's a Christian. He told me, bahala na Diyos sa'yo. You need to be able to say, okay, I'm willing to give up everything for love. Pero parang ano pelikula, no? But I think that's true. My father, he's a romantic. I had a Filipina girlfriend, and you know, with most strict traditional Chinese family, the whole family would try to discourage me. And then eventually my father called me about it. And so I love my girlfriend. I defended my stand. And lo and behold, I wasn't expecting. And she agreed with me. And it was a total surprise. And he told the entire family that they should support my decision. The father of my girlfriend was asking me, after we got married, if I have any regret marrying my wife. And I said, yes, I have a regret. I should have married her earlier. No? And of course, he had a big smile on his face. No? The original plan is to be a mechanical engineer. But my brother decided to be a mechanical engineer because we were working in a machine shop. When I was young, I already knew that I don't want to be following the shadow of other people. I wanted to be on my own. And that's why I decided to shift. So I went to take up a business. And among the business courses, I felt marketing is the heart of a business operation. And that's the reason why I decided to specialize in marketing. The other thing that I realized is I was a C student when I was in high school. And then I started analyzing, why was I a C student? Because in subjects that I like, I would get very high grades. In subject I didn't like, that I would just pass it, no? And then I realized the secret is to be a specialist in your field before you can be a generalist. So I said, I'm going to specialize in marketing. And once you specialize in marketing, you can then go to your adjacency. So from sales, marketing, innovation, blue ocean strategy, entrepreneurship, business model, I now have 6 lenses to look at everything. But I started only in marketing. It's a better way to view the world. When I expanded from marketing to business model, I realized business model is 50% marketing. And because I was already in marketing, it was very easy for me to expand to business model. In fact, I have a 55-course business model course in Continuum Academy, the only one in the Philippines, the only one in Asia. RFM was very entrepreneurial, and I like that environment because I have always thought of becoming an entrepreneur. I realized as an entrepreneur, I wouldn't want to be in an artificial environment where you'll be given a lot of money, but if you become an entrepreneur, you're not going to have those money anyway. So you might as well be very entrepreneurial, find ways of getting things done. But it was a rare case where I got both marketing, brand experience, and sales experience. Today, you don't get that. Either you're in brand or you're in sales, no? Marketing will more and more evolve as a force for good. Business in general will be a force for good. It's no longer enough to make profit. Business should be about helping others. Just like in the pandemic, I mean, you cannot just say, okay, I'm gonna do well and I'm gonna fatten my bottom line, but forget about all the other people. I saw knowledge was going to be gold. It was very early in 1990. We have celebrated over 30 years. And at that time, many people were not willing to even pay for seminars. No? You get invited and they give you something kasi laway lang naman, di ba? But today, it's totally different. The progressive companies understand the value of knowledge. And I realized that if you can convert knowledge capital to financial capital. Man Smith and Fielders was relaunched in 1990, and we were just doing seminars. But through the years, Chiki, my wife, joined in 2004. She helped in the transformation. It was actually her idea to convert it into an advocacy-based company. So I credit it to her. Through the years, we're not just only doing seminar, providing knowledge, but we're doing so many advocacies. Today, we have transformed ourselves into an advocacy-based training company, the only one in our field. We are an award-giving body. We actually sponsor the Young Market Masters Award, now on our 17th year. And by the way, all our awards have no entry fee. It's really a public service thing. So other than that, we're a publication. We have published so many books in the Philippines. My first book, Contemporary Marketing Strategy in the Philippine Setting, sold out. You know, I printed 5,000 copies. I had to reprint in 3 months. And today I have 19 books. All of them became bestsellers. I have been blessed with many friends and relatives and many readers who not only read my books, but my blog and my works in Inquirer. The business model of the book is 100% for charity. We sell the books and then we help other people with the fund. We have a separate funding for that. Every month we have a different conference. We have a Market Masters Conference. We have an Innovation Conference. We have a Sales Summit. You name it, we have it. I think it's very important to understand that marketing is composed of so many things. In fact, we have 21 courses just in marketing.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. Hashtag One CHiNOY is brought to you by Cardinal Santos Medical Center, PG Flex Linoleum, and Maruyama Tarpaulin. Evergreen Cereal, AgriPro, Premier Nutrition Incorporated, Global Diesel and GU Engineering, Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation, Ford Tractor Philippines, your long-term agriculture partner. Japan Parts Bearing Corporation, now open in Caloocan. Pinturado Sellado Protectado Sigurado, AquaGuard Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint. NTN Aesthetic Supplies Incorporated. Wonderful Trading. Unity, your testing specialist. Bavin, the fast charging expert. Federation of Filipino Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Philippine Xinjiang General Association Incorporated. Grand Family Association of the Philippines Incorporated. Federation of Filipino Chinese Alumni Association Incorporated. Alejandro Ko. Jimmy C. Nung Family. Enrique Chua. Li Pue Chin. Chua Beng Teng. Hong Wen Bing. Albert Ko. Stephen Sia. Rosalina Yasay. Thomas Kua. Conchita Go. Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart.
Truth be told, if I were to look at this, I think the certain spirituality matters. I realize eventually that it's really God's grace. I'm not the best guy in the world. There's so many people better than me, but I'm blessed. And the way you look at things matter, and it pays to be positive rather than negative. I had a situation where I couldn't collect receivables, several millions of that, and I thought it was the end of the world. But, it's never the end of the world. One time I was mentoring somebody who said, he lost 3.7 million and he felt very down, and I shared how much I lost. And he took one look at me and said, "What?" And he said, "Oh my God, and you mean to say I have hope?" I said, "Yeah, I have recovered that, and I made a name for myself because I have recovered from that. And there's always hope." Well, I mentor many people, but there's such thing as reverse mentoring. An older person can be mentored by younger people. In my case, I'm very proud of my children. Tricia taught me about inbound marketing. First time I heard from her. She was a fresh grad. She won the Ateneo Art Award, Soul Awardee. And I saw her bumming around in the house. So I said, "Why don't you get a real job?" And, she told me, "I have a real job, Dad." I said, "What's that?" "I'm a blogger." At that time, blogging was not a popular thing then. Then I volunteered to be her manager, because I wanted to have better relationship with her. And I had to sell myself to be her manager. I said, I started in the knowledge industry. Nobody believed in us. Now blogging is a new industry. And I think I can manage you because I know how to create demand, and I know how to communicate that value proposition. And she agreed, so long as she has the final say, and I have no editorial power, whatever in her blog. I said, that's the easiest decision. Of course, it's a yes. No? My eldest son, Chase, is a computer graduate. And one time he went into bespoke fashion and he learned the skill for so many years. And after so many years, he realized that it's kind of hard to be competitive in terms of cost. And he went back to software development. And he had the humility to start all over again from the lowest position. Today, of course, he is a lead software developer. I learned about the importance of humility. So sometimes, you realize it's not the right thing, and you're willing to start all over again. My other son is a concept artist, studied in Singapore. And of course, I was asking him, so there are so many artists in the world, so what will make you different? So he said, "No, I'm going to be a concept artist." And I'm very proud because he can define differentiation in his mind. And he also started teaching, at one point in time, high school student art. And one time, one of his students had a very dark drawing. And he had the presence of mind to talk to counselors and say, can you take a look at this student? So he had the important thing is of interpreting beyond the drawing. My youngest son, Kalel, showed me the importance of network beyond business, networking as a support group. I think it's a very important thing that we learn from each other. And I look forward to continuously learning from younger people. When I was much younger, I was very impatient. And so during meetings, when somebody would say something that I would be in disagreement with, I would say it. But today, of course, as I get older, I found that there is actually a way of confronting cognitive dissonance, something that is totally, that I may not understand. And I ask myself a question, under what circumstance would the other party be correct? So I think like a lawyer, and I started defending their perspective by simply answering one question. That is a question that is so important in our personal lives that we have to learn to ask that question. I teach that question in our innovation classes because sometimes you're brainstorming and somebody come up with an idea. It may be a stupid idea to you, but maybe that's the idea that might save your company. Many older CHiNOYs that I experienced, that I saw, they work so hard, but they have no time to do other things. They're married to their job. They forget their family. I was like that in my first 10 years as an entrepreneur. My wife took care of the family. One point in time, I was so broken because I couldn't bring back time. And I saw my children were growing up without me. I think there's a difference that we need to have a balance between working so hard and actually enjoying our personal and financial freedom. And that I think that's something that the younger generation is correct.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. Hashtag One CHiNOY is brought to you by Cardinal Santos Medical Center, Evergreen Cereal, AgriPro, Premier Nutrition Incorporated, Global Diesel and GU Engineering, Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation, Ford Tractor Philippines, your long-term agriculture partner, Pinturado Sellado Protectado Sigurado, AquaGuard Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Philippine Xinjiang General Association Incorporated, Philippine Long Tong Hai Fraternity Incorporated, and Philippine Long Tong Hai Chamber of Commerce Incorporated, President Raymond Uy, Philippine Xinjiang Longhu Association and Philippine Xinjiang Longhu Chamber of Commerce Incorporated, Philippine Chinese Commerce and Industry Overseas Association Incorporated, Philippine Xinlian Association, Overseas Chinese Alumni Association of the Philippines, Alejandro Ko, Jimmy C, Nung Family, Chua Beng Teng, Hong Wen Bing, Albert Ko, Stephen Sia, Rosalina Yasay, Jaime Lim, Victor Chua, Sherwin Choi,
Cosmetic Asia's mission is to provide quality products at an affordable price for our customers.
Silka is the first flagship and venture of Cosmetic Asia Corporation in the cosmetic industry. At Silka, we are committed to creating a superior line of affordable and effective products to cater the demand of our consumers who want to achieve lighter complexion and smoother skin. finally, with a great formulation and right fragrance, we offered the papaya soap at an introductory price. Our packaging is glossy and eye-catching, so it stands out on the shelves. Being in the market for 20 years, Silka's commitment to give alaga is still our brand's promise and driving force.
In 2005, as we wanted to tap the fragrance category, we launched Juicy Cologne. We aim to diversify our product portfolio to meet the demands of our consumers. This is the reason why we acquired other brands. We knew this would add value to our total product portfolio. This also made CAC one of the few FMCG companies to have both food and non-food categories in its portfolio.
Since 2012, Silka has been the #1 papaya soap in the country. We also rank as number 8 out of 10 brands by Kantar in the health and beauty brand category for the past 5 years. We are the only local company among the 10 chosen FMCG brands.
From our humble beginning as a family-owned company, we now have a facility in Quezon City, a plant in Malolos, and a new world-class production complex in Plaridel, Bulacan. In years to come, we will continue to invest in better infrastructure and develop new products. We will carry on with providing the best and highest quality of products.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart.
Western people are so shocked that, what? You're 28 and you're still living at home. You're 30 and you're still living at home. For them, it's like an inconceivable situation. But that doesn't hold here. Well, because the CHiNOYs, like the Filipinos and the Chinese, the family unit is very, very tight. They're very closely knit. I think if there is any timeline where you're supposed to leave the familiar home, it's when you get married. So it's not really a concept of, by the time you have a salary, you're supposed to go off and fend for yourself. Family ties are a lot stronger.
I guess it's just familial sentimentality, and I am the only daughter. He told me that if ever I get married, I wouldn't be seeing him a lot, and sabi niya, sige, while you're here, while you're still single and still working in Manila, just stay with dad muna. Honestly, for me, if you ask me if I wanted to live out, I would rather live with my parents first.
To frame it in my personal experience, my dad has always said na, oh, bakit yung friend mo na ganyan, he or she is already living on their own, napaka-Western naman yan. So that's where I got the concept na, na hindi siya as accepted, because I guess the general idea is that you have to stay at home until kasal ka na. Because we live in a pandemic, lonely din eh. I'm also fortunate that my family and I are pretty close, and that I can just hop into a room and have a conversation casually with my parents, with my sister. So I would want the company. I do want the company. Not everyone is as fortunate to be living in a home where you have a very good relationship with your parents. And I've heard from multiple friends, whether CHiNOY or not, that the act of having moved out actually strengthened their relationship with their parents. Dahil namimiss mo na yung isa't isa, you tend to have more positive interactions with one another.
Ideally, when you get married, you should live separately from your parents. There's this very simple reason. You need to learn about being independent. My children, when they get married, we require them to live on their own. No, I live with my parents for a few years. You know how it works, no? You have a compound and very traditional. And then my brother lives in one side, and then I live in another side. The children are growing up, and then, the children start fighting. There's always a misunderstanding. So the best way is live on your own and be independent. I think it's important to have reality check that it's not always what we want, because what our children want may also make them grow. The modern CHiNOY is a balance between tradition and innovation. There is a combination of something modern and continuity of something that has proven to be good in the past. It's very important to understand integrity, or what we call in Chinese, 信用, that a handshake, verbal agreement is as strong as a contract. And we should never forget about this. In terms of values, integrity should be first. You cannot compromise on integrity. You cannot cut costs by cutting corners. We need to understand our responsibility 360 degree. We are responsible for our parents. We're responsible for our children. We're responsible for our employees. We're responsible for our community. We should not forget about our responsibility. We need to continuously grow, continuously learn. Because if we don't continuously learn, we become stagnant, we stop growing. The world is like a bicycle. And, if you stop, then everybody is going to be all ahead of you. You have to continuously learn.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. Hashtag One CHiNOY was brought to you by Doña Maria Premium Quality Rice, our Filipino farmers' hard work and dedication in every grain. BA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific. CHiNOY TV would like to thank
I like to fix all these things, electronic, electrical. That is my passion. I want to build my own, to able to looking into the future, what's the technology roadmap. Whatever economic status of your life, you should have the faster, stable access to the internet. It's a digital rights to individual Filipino. Yun ang pangarap ko mangyari.